Hello everyone and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be building a one-off roller coaster. So this is not part of any series, this is not part of American Dream. Hopefully we'll be back in American Dream soon with the start of our western area. If you haven't checked out American Dream, that's the series that I have mainly going on the channel. It is a really awesome, typical American, small style American park inspired by a lot of the northeastern parks that I grew up going to. So if you want to check that out, please do. But today we are building a Vekoma LSM launch coaster with a nautical theme, and it's going to be called Surge. Well, I say nautical theme, it's an attempt at a nautical theme. You guys can let me know down in the comments how good the actual nautical theme turned out. But I am very, very happy with how this coaster, specifically the coaster, maybe not the theming, but I'm very happy with how the coaster turned out. And it is available on the workshop. The code is down in the description below, so if you do want to go check it out on your own. Sadly, it is not a blueprint, so fair warning right now. It's not a blueprint, it's over 4,000 pieces. I was really trying to keep it under that 4,000 mark, but it ended up being like 5,500 pieces or something like that, like something ridiculous. But yeah, I uploaded it as a park, so I hope that's okay. If you guys want to check it out, make sure, give it a download, why not? Anyway, but yeah, we're building a Vekoma LSM launch coaster. This would typically be, I believe, their Top Gun model because it has the 2 cars, and you cannot go more than 2 cars in the game, which kind of sucks, to be honest with you. I really wish you could go more than just 2 cars. And maybe in the future, like with a DLC and stuff, they'll bring a different option for more cars, or just like a different coaster type, because they've done that in the past with like the Wing Coaster having a launch and lift hill. Anyway, if you don't know what Vekoma is, it is a Swedish manufacturer. Yeah, they're based in Sweden, and they are freaking awesome. Well, they used to actually suck. Like, they used to be awful. If you've ridden a typical boomerang roller coaster that you can find at so many different parks across the world, if you've ridden one of those, you'll know that they're not great. They are very rough, very, I don't know how to say, very gimmicky rides maybe. And also were pretty like bad quality, if that makes sense. They typically just made really bad quality rides, and they ended up going bankrupt. Vekoma went bankrupt in, I believe, 2011, and then they merged with SNS Worldwide or SNS Sansi. I don't know their name. It's one of the two. And yeah, they emerged out of bankruptcy with a new designer and a new philosophy on designing rides, and they've been nonstop killing the game. Like, seriously, the entirety of the amusement industry is getting owned by Vekoma right now. I would say they're probably the best manufacturer in the world. Like, they are, like, as of right now, like, they are at the top of their game. They're really mainly over in Europe, I would say. They really haven't made their way to America, at least the thrill coasters. There's a lot of Vekoma family coasters, or sorry, New Age Vekoma family coasters over in America. I've actually been on one of them. It was a family invert at Dino's Wonder Wheel. Phoenix. I've been on Phoenix at Dino's Wonder Wheel. Honestly, it's a very fun ride. It's very, very good. But it doesn't really, I wouldn't say it compares to the coasters over in Europe at all, actually. But New Age Vekoma is definitely making its way over to America. In 2025, there's a couple of new ones opening up. The Flash at Great Adventure, which was delayed from 2024. And then also Siren's Curse over at Cedar Point. Oh, and then also the one at Codaland. So clearly, like, they're making their way. And these aren't family rides. These are big thrill coasters. And I'm sure they're going to do absolutely amazing. And I'm hoping that they bring more thrill coasters from Vekoma over into the United States. But overall, what I'm trying to say is that they're a great manufacturer, and it's clear like that this has been the best coaster to build in Planet Coaster, if that makes sense. I feel like every video I see of a singular coaster that someone's made in Planko, it is this one specifically. Sorry, Planko 2, not just Planko. Like, this is it's this coaster, and obviously I think it's because it's just so fun to build. Like, Vekoma has such a broad variety of elements. You can do so many different things with them to make a realistic Vekoma coaster. And plus, with the small trains on this thing, like, you can do some really whippy transitions and everything. Like, they're really fun to build. And that's kind of why I'm building one right now, to be honest with you. I've already built one on the channel. It's called Mountain Flyer. It's nothing like this, if you're wondering. But you should totally go check it out if you haven't seen the video. It was one of my older videos when I first started uploading Planet Coaster, but I still think it's a pretty nice coaster. It's like over 8,000 feet long or anything. Or something like that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say now is that we are building a lighthouse. Oh my God. If you just saw, we placed a bunch of rock work down. There's actually going to be a lot of rock work involved with the coaster, but I didn't talk about that at all because I am so bad at commentary. I do greatly apologize. But yeah, now we're building a classic lighthouse. I tried doing a red and white typical lighthouse that you see out of art shapes. However, I don't know, it just didn't really fit the vibe. I like the classic look. I like the, made out of like this old stone brick. I absolutely love that. It feels very nautical, very old school. Kind of, how do you say, I don't know, probably like vintage. No, not vintage. I don't know. It kind of ghostly, to be honest with you. I feel like if you were to see this lighthouse in a big thing of fog, like it would be very ghostly, which is just like, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for with this ride. There's not necessarily a theme other than nautical. There's not like a storyline that I'm going off of or anything, but it's definitely not like a happy village on the sea. It's definitely more of like an abandoned boathouse kind of thing. Here I am trying to make a pitched roof, but I realized that I'm impatient and it's hard, so I took the easy way out and put an art shape on top. Does it look as good as I think it could? No, sadly. I do think it looks fine. I think it looks good enough. And that's kind of that. I don't know. I feel like a dome shape on top of a lighthouse, that's like pretty, I guess it's like not, I don't know how normal it actually is. I'm not a big lighthouse guy. I'm not even looking at a reference photo for this, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of just building it. But I like it. I think it comes out nice, and I don't think the dome on top is that big of a deal. If you're looking at it right now and you think it's that big of a deal, I promise, just keep watching the video. It will grow on you. Or maybe it won't. I don't know. But I do like it. I try to like put moss on top of it, but the pieces just aren't small enough. Even if I scale them down because of the dome shape, it just looks off. So I end up deciding against that. And then I put some of those decals on the side and make it look a little bit more worn. And then we put in these windows, and I really like the windows. They look nice. And of course, the lighthouse is going to kind of be in the center of the queue line here. And honestly, what inspired the lighthouse and kind of this whole theme, to be honest with you, I was watching some Planet Coaster YouTube, and I saw Conifer Slopes. I was rewatching the Conifer Slopes series from Mass Bandit, and he had a lighthouse in the middle of his spinning coaster, so I was like, that's so cool, I should totally do a nautical theme. But for this, because honestly, there is a coaster, a Vekoma launch coaster, similar to this one, over in Poland. Again, they're big in Europe, over in Poland at Energylandia, and it has a nautical theme to it. It's called Abyssus, but it is not... It is like nowhere near the same theme as this. Even though it's a nautical theme, it's so different because theirs is kind of like a steampunky Atlantis theme. There's a lot of rusted pipes and a lot of like, moving parts to it, if that makes sense. Here, this is kind of more like a Cape Cod village or like an abandoned Cape Cod shipyard, if that makes sense. Because that's like the nautical that I'm more used to. I'm more used to like the Cape Cod, Hampton Beach kind of architecture, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys know what Hampton Beach is, but yeah, I'm more used to that kind of style of beach or nautical architecture, not architecture. Here we are building a building. That's really all I can describe it as. It's not meant to be anything. Clearly, there's no signage or anything on it. It's just a kind of a structure that I would want you to pass through on the ride. Parks do this all the time. Like Thunderbird just has like a random shed that you pass through. There's no rhyme or reason that it's there, but you pass through it. And I like using the boards on the side here to try to give it like this like kind of punching through the wall kind of look to it, which I really like. The backside I don't really do that with, but I do like how you're going towards the wall and it kind of just looks like you're shooting through it, which is just absolutely awesome. And it's such a simple effect to do as well. It's so easy, but it adds so much to the look of the building. And again, just try to make it look a little bit more nautical. And if you're doing nautical, doing anything kind of related to the ocean, just put ropes. If you just put ropes and spam ropes everywhere, it just looks so good. It makes it look so good. Absolutely love it. Putting a bunch of just clutter around, cluttering it up. Very simple stuff. Continuing that rock work. I did a bunch of rock work before and I just did not talk about it, so I do apologize on that. But if you want to check out the entire thing more, just download this off the workshop. The code is down below. Anyway, Planet Coaster actually just announced, Frontier just announced for Planet Coaster a brand new update, or at least like a stringing of updates, if that makes sense, like a roadmap. That's what they call it. A big roadmap of updates. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that. I know I watched a couple of videos. I didn't see Frontier confirm it, but people are saying that they're going to bring back the original themes, which is awesome. But if that's the case, I'm going to be pretty upset because I'm building a Western area right now in American Dream, and if they bring back the Western theme, that would suck. That would be a big slap in the face. But I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited that they're bringing back interchangeable coaster cars. Seriously, that's like a huge thing for me because I don't know why, but the RMC wood coaster in the game is like so... I don't know why they put the Timberliners on there. It just makes no sense. It is so crazy to me that they did that. Like, it makes no sense at all because that's just not how it is in real life whatsoever. But they did it, and they did it in the first game, and honestly, the first game, I didn't think much of it, but they did it again in the second one, and I was like, really? But that was... very weird choice. That's all I can say on that. But I like building the Gravity Group family coasters. And of course, to build the Gravity Group family coasters, you have to use the Timberliner trains, which are on the RMC track. So you have to, use like a GCI or a PTC wooden coaster, typical wooden coaster, and then you have to put the Timberliners on there. I'm sorry if I'm like, if you're not like a big coaster person and you're watching this and you're wondering like what I'm talking about, I don't know the in-game names, but like think of like the older wooden coaster in the game compared to like the more modern wooden coaster. You like change out the trains, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like a huge coaster nerd, and honestly, I don't even pay attention to the in-game names and stuff. I do like how there's manufacturers for the coasters in the game, though. I love how Intamin is Automax. That makes so much sense to me. Like, that's amazing. Here I am just doing like a little pattern on the ground, just to add some interest. Very simple, nothing crazy, just made out of art shapes. And then now we're gonna build a custom fence because I can't go a video apparently without making a custom fence. I love my custom fencing. It's just so simple to build, and it makes things look so much better. Seriously, like the fencing in the game is great. I love the fencing in the game, but it's either super high themed or way too generic. And I would like this to look a little bit more presentable than the fencing, or like than like a typical chain link fence, if that makes sense. And I really like it. It's kind of like this aqua greenish, bluish color. I don't know. It looks fine. I like it. And then I just copy and paste it around a bunch. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, this is probably why the piece count is so high. Because there's, probably like 12, 13 pieces in each fence here. So that's probably what's adding up pretty quickly, to be honest with you. So again, I'm sorry. If you wanted to download this as a blueprint, you're going to have to go in and select what you want and into the park, or just don't download it at all. I don't care. Please do download it. Seriously. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to. Now we're building the station. Yay! Which is going to be a boathouse. That's kind of like the whole idea behind it. I want to try to make it look somewhat like a boathouse. It's definitely a theme park boathouse, if that makes sense. Real boathouses don't look great. They look very old and worn down and not good. They don't look good. So it makes sense that this would look a little bit neater, a little bit nicer, a little bit more presentable, because that's, I feel like, what theme parks typically do with their architecture. If they're trying to represent something that's pretty like ugly, they would try to spice it up a little bit, or make it look more presentable. Look at theming for West Coast Racers at Six Flags Magic Mountain, right? Like, that's themed to literally a back alley, but it just doesn't look like that. It looks a lot cleaner, a lot neater, a lot nicer, because it's a theme park. So if this isn't the most realistic boathouse, that is my reasoning, and that would be my argument. So yeah. Anyway, hanging some rope from the ceiling, because you can't go wrong hanging rope from the ceiling. And then now we're just putting on the roof. Basic roof. You don't really need a custom roof for a building like this. I realize, like, the roof is just way too big. Like, the whole building is just massive. It's way too tall. So I just highlight it and to shrink it down. I literally just put it down and then get rid of all the excess pieces. And yeah, it makes it just look a little bit more to scale, I guess. It's not super, it's still a little big, to be honest with you. It's not super scaled, but I think it looks fine. Putting some trim on the edge. Very, very simple. Kind of looks like a barn, to be honest with you. But it's such a simple detail that adds, I think, a really nice touch. It really does. It makes it just look that much better. Plus, it gives it a little bit more of a nautical feel. I feel like a lot of nautical buildings kind of have patterns and stuff like this. To be honest, again, I'm not really referencing anything. And as you heard me at the beginning, I don't necessarily know if this is going to be... you can tell me down below if you think this is like a sufficient nautical theme. I think it's all right. But, I mean, I don't know. And that's kind of like my biggest problem with this game, to be honest. I just doubt myself so much. I really do. To be real, this is like the fourth coaster I've attempted to build to kind of like put on YouTube, if that makes sense. Every time that I build now, I'm typically thinking of a YouTube video. There's obviously times where I just build coasters by myself, but I really haven't had that much time recently, and it's been a couple of days since I last uploaded, so I really wanted to try to do a video, and I don't know. I just kept, I kept trying to do a couple of different types of coasters. I tried to do a Vekoma tilt coaster, a B&M hyper, and then now I landed on this because it's just a little bit more of a smaller scale and I can do a little bit more highly detailed stuff, which I typically don't. If you watch the American Dream series, I really don't do a lot of high detailed theming. I wouldn't even say that this is highly detailed. This is kind of just generic themed to like a nautical shipyard. I don't know. It's themed, but it's not like themed, if that makes sense. Like there's people out there that have rides that are full-on stories. I saw a video. It was called like Twister Chase the Storm. Absolutely amazing creation. It looked straight out of Universal, fully indoor themed queue line. It was insane. The actual ride experience wasn't necessarily themed, but the queue line alone was just like insane. It was like I can't believe it. It was like I was actually watching like a POV of a real life queue line. It was amazing. They had like a real like tornado in the queue line, or like a real like moving like debris and stuff inside the queue. It was insane. But that's not what this is. This is supposed to be themed, but it's not themed, if that makes sense. Like clearly you're walking onto this ride, you know what you're getting. You know this is going to be like a nautical theme, but there's not going to be like a story behind it. There's not a story. There's not a reason that you are going on this adventure, if that makes sense, But I do like the look of it, and I really like the look of like the nautical theming to begin with. I just think it looks so good. There is going to be some stuff that I do off camera, I believe. I don't actually remember if I did the supports on camera. I don't know. We'll see in the time lapse. I'm a professional YouTuber, guys. Please subscribe. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I have to do custom supports for the 0G roll because the pathway is obviously there. So I just have to do the custom supports for that. It's very, very simple. So if I didn't do it on camera, it's not that hard to do. But I think I don't know. I think I did do it on camera. Anyway, now we're making the Surge sign. The ride is called Surge. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm very dumb. I don't know why I don't remember that, if I mentioned that or not. But yeah, the ride is called Surge. I don't necessarily know why. I just couldn't think of like a good nautical name. One of my friends suggested Submerged, which I thought was actually pretty good. I thought that was a pretty good name. But I feel like that's more fitting for like a dive coaster or something. This thing doesn't really have any like submerging moments, if that makes sense. So I feel like Surge is like a little bit cooler because it's more sleek, it's simpler. I feel like it fits like the quick, whippy launch coaster vibe to it. You're never gonna have like a small scale whippy launch coaster. You're never gonna have that named like Goliath or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have to have a name that fits somewhat. And there's not really that many nautical names I could think of. If you guys have any suggestions down in the comments to prove me wrong, you guys can go ahead and do that. It's too late. The video is already uploaded if you're watching this. Anyway, very simple sign though. Just put some rope on it. You just put some rope on anything and it makes it look nautical, I swear. And now we're making the custom car because we have to cover up this jet. So yeah, is the custom car realistic, or resembles anything. No, it resembles a pile of nothing. Like, legitimately, it resembles a pile of driftwood, and I don't know, but I like it. I think it works, okay? I think it generally works, okay? But it's you have to cover up the plane, and that kind of sucks. I really wish the ride car here was just a little bit more generic. And although the plane, I think, is actually a very good ride car, because, you know, if you're doing a coaster like this, it's so easy just to call it like turbulence, and, you know, slap a plane on there. Like, it's great. But if you're trying to do any other theme other than like a plane or like a jet, it's difficult. It's definitely difficult to do. But you know what? I think it works. I really like this front car. You guys can tell me in the comments whether you think it's good or not, but I really do like it. Honestly, I think it's pretty good. And then putting the actual name Surge on the front there makes it just a nice little detail that just adds so much, and I really, really like it. So. And then now it's time to do the back of the car, which again is just another pile of stuff, pile of crates, pile of barrels. Yeah, I don't know, it looks nautical enough, and then you put on some rope and everything, and it just makes everything look great. Absolutely awesome. Put some rope on there, call it a day. But yeah, very, very simple stuff. As you can see, I'm putting on the names of the two cars here. Rudder, and then I believe the other one, yes, hull, named after ship parts, which is always great. And then now it's my favorite part of the build, which is lighting. This coaster at night looks fantastic. When I do show like the POV and stuff, I'll do it kind of at like sunset-ish time. I don't know if that's what you guys want to see, but it's, you know, I like it. I think at sunset the coaster looks its best. The lights show a little bit, and plus you have like a nice atmosphere. But at night, you can see it in the time lapse. I love the green lighting. It gives it such like this like almost underwater feel to it. Like, it's really awesome. I absolutely love it. Do I have a method to lighting? No. I just kind of spam lights around the ride course to try to light it up as much as possible. I realized that the top is not going to get lit up that well, so I just kind of put some some lights on the beams for that hold up the track, the supports. I don't know why it took me that long to say supports, but it did. And then putting on some yellow lights on the lighthouse, it just looks great. Absolutely awesome. And then basic lighting in the queue line. I'm not doing like a custom lamppost or anything. Very, very simple. And it works. I don't know what else to say. It just works, and it's great. I absolutely love it. Yeah. 450 subscribers. I know, what a transition. But we hit 450 subscribers, so thank you. That's more subs than I've ever had on any YouTube channel I've ever done. And obviously 450 subscribers is not that much, but man, it feels really good. So thank you guys so much. Everyone that's like watching the American Dream series, everyone loves those. I really hope, you know, me doing these kind of side projects, you know, people at least, you know, somewhat enjoy them. Here we are building the transfer track. But I do like I like doing these side projects every now and then. But I'm really happy that everyone's enjoying the content that I'm producing. And although I stutter and I don't really seem like I have a plan for these videos, because I don't, I do care. I do care about, you know, the quality of the video. I do put a lot of effort into these. So it's, you know, really awesome to see that people at least have, you know, an appreciation for it, which I really do appreciate. I appreciate your appreciation. Here we are, just kind of building a little maintenance area. Nothing too crazy, just out of art shapes and everything. Very, very simple. I'm putting on this kind of like texture to just give it more of like a, I don't know, industrial look. Oh, and look at that. Look at, we're doing the custom supporting. And this is how I custom support. If you have trouble custom supporting, just copy an existing support. And then that's it. That's like all you have to do. And then boom, it's done. That's literally it. That's the secret. That's my secret to custom supporting. Because guess what? I'm not great at it either. But yeah, this is the end of the time lapse actually. And so I'm gonna leave you with a POV and some B-roll of the ride. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And yeah, make sure you check out American Dream's next episode. It's coming out soon. So yeah, bye-bye.
tudo bem. Ela tua cara e eu digo bem. Tudo bem. Tudo bem. Cara, eu digo bem. Tudo bem. Cara, tudo bem. Porque já não se vê. Ela me liga de calcinha, eu sei bem que só se eu tô bem.